What's happening to high school movies? Yeah, let's do that.
Sorry, did I jump the gun?
No.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So I did research on that.
Okay. Say more.
The earliest known high school movie I found was in the 1950s. And it was Rebel Without a Cause with James Dean.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Never saw it.
Same.
I get the idea of it. And then after that, you had stuff like American Graffiti, which wasn't technically it was right after high school, but they were literally at a high school dance. Like, I don't know. It's splitting hairs a little bit, but
yeah, and it's teenagers hooking up and cruising. And...
Right. And then you had Grease in the 70s. And so from the 50s to the early 70s, you only had like a few high school movies from what I can tell.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some out there that I missed, but there wasn't like a big saturation of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in the 80s, obviously, John Hughes. Right. So that, Ferris Bueller, all those popped off. What's interesting, though, that I found is that all the way from the 90s throughout the 2010s, there's been a lot of high school movies. It's not until the 20s that it started to drop off.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like I have a bunch written down here. 80s, we already said those. We all know all those ones. Fast Times at Ridgemont High included, Dazed and Confused also, right? All those high school movies.
Mm-hmm.
90s, Clueless, American Pie, 10 Things About You, Jawbreaker, Never Back Down, She's All That, Varsity Blues. Like, there's a lot.
Yeah.
2000s, Superbad, Bring It On, Step It Up, Mean Girls, High School Musical, John Tucker Must Die, Fired Up, Not Another Teen Movie, parody, right?
Right.
10s, you have 21 Jump Street, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, Project X, The Duff, Dope. I don't know if you've ever seen Dope.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Dope's good.
I'm glad you've seen that. That makes me really happy. More people need to go watch Dope because it's dope. And then in 2020s, we've had Incoming, which is the only one I can find as far as a like mainstream movie. Which did you ever go and watch it?
No, never heard of it.
Oh, I told you about it when we talked about it last time.
Yeah, right.
We talk about it a lot though. It's fine. You need to watch. That's a good one.
That's one that you said was on Netflix, right?
I believe so. Yeah. It's very Superbad-esque in its themes, but it's like a different story, so that's good.
Got it.
But yeah, and so the interesting thing I noticed too is that like as it creeps in more to our modern times, it goes from being a very general look at what high school and what teenagers are supposed to be and what they want to be. You know, you got James Dean, who's just cool rebel. It's cool to be rebel. It's, you know, handsome, nice and cool as a cucumber, calm under pressure type guy, right? American Graffiti, kind of the same thing, just general teenage experience. Grease, a little bit different because it's like the outcasts that they're more looking, not the outcasts, but it's also the rebels. It's still kind of Rebel Without a Cause actually in that sense. So from the start, it's been about like teenage rebellion, right? Yeah. Whether that was the actual purpose or not, like because Grease, they weren't like, we gotta rebel. They just were already in that mindset. That's just who they were, right? They were just like counterculture, right? And then you got the 1980s with the John Hughes movies, Fast Times, and then you start looking. It's still very generalized, though. It's a general experience of what, like, they're trying to hit, like, the largest swath, it seems like, of the experience for kids, right? And then you also have, like, Fast Times, Dazed and Confused, which is, like, more of the stoner culture and stuff like that, you know, the party culture. So still rebels. Then the 90s, things start to change. You get Clueless, American Pie, which American Pie is also very super baddie in the way its themes are, right? It's all about getting laid and stuff. Jawbreakers, Never Back Down. So I noticed that like you still have the general ones, like Clueless is all about popularity. It starts being more about less about rebelling and teenage angst than it is about. It's still about that, but it's also about like fitting in. Mm-hmm. It's about cliques. It's about finding your group of people. You know, which is what I think once again is a cool thing about Mean Girls is they kind of like reversed that genre. Yeah. There was a lot of buildup of that, you know. And then you got 2000 Superbad, Bring It On, Step It. So now you're having very like instead of it's a generalized experience, it's very individualized experience of like what these people are dealing with, you know? Maybe not Superbad so much. That is a very boy relative thing, but it is the boy perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just about rebelling. It's about getting laid, and you're doing that because you're trying to be popular, and like you think it's what you're supposed to do, right? So it's like it's slowly starting to be more sexualized as we get into the 90s and on, and then 2010s and more extreme too. It's like it's one of three things, or all of them. It's getting more sexualized. It's more about like individual experiences, and it's more of like a wild concept too. So like Never Back Down is freaking. Do you remember that movie?
Mm-mm.
It's Underground Fight Club
Okay.
that the high schoolers start.
Oh, wow.
It's a fun movie. It's kind of cheesy, but it's good. 21 Jump Street. I know that's a reboot, but you know that idea. Perks of Being a Wallflower. You're looking at the other side of the popular spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Trauma. Project X. We talked about that. The Duff. I don't know. Have you seen The Duff?
No.
You need to watch The Duff. That's a good one. It stands for the dumb, ugly, fat friend, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Not nice.
No.
Great movie.
I'd give it a watch.
Out of all the movies talked about, since you've already seen Dope, I would say The Duff is pretty good. That's a good classic, like high school movie, I would say. Because it is also still about, it makes say it's classic because it's about fitting in and cliques and stuff like that, but they do it in, once again, in a very like flipping the genre on its head type thing. So that's really cool. Dope, very unique story, very individualized experience, very individual character as well. Doesn't fit any stereotype really.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Incoming, which once again is like a Superbad reboot, but like its own story, but the themes are the same. And so I guess overall what I'm saying is it seems like, yeah, I don't know, they get a little more, less generalized, more individual. Oh, I even had more from the 2010s I wrote down. Remember the Titans? Does that count?
Yeah.
Never. She's the man. Ugh. But the other thing I noticed is that, you know what else started happening in the 90s? TV shows.
Yeah.
You had, I don't know, off the top of my brain, Buffy. I think Boy Meets World was the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure there's like
tons of them.
Well,
even in the 80s, you had Family Ties and Growing Pains,
right?
And
which those weren't specifically about high school, but
no,
they
were
did
about families. But
there's students, the kids in it that would go to it, but they do touch on that. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, stuff like
Facts
that.
of Life, like
all of that.
80s shows, and then 90s, you had. I mean, you had a lot of shows that were really also like, because all those sitcoms were about the family, but they all had adolescent characters to include that component.
That would be in high school, Dawson's Creek or whatever, or stuff like that.
Dawson's Creek was all about
90210.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was 2000s or not, but
90s.
Is that 90s?
Mid 90s, yeah.
So all those TV shows you have, Friday Night Lights, that got made into a TV show.
That's interesting.
And then in the 2000s, that trend keeps going on. From what I can tell, you have like a whole bunch of TV shows that just, you know, saturated now, right? Including I don't know, just stuff like what was it? 13 Reasons Why or something like that. Was that what that one was called?
I haven't seen it.
You don't know what I'm talking about though?
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm talking about? There's it's a popular one. Kid kills himself and he leaves a suicide note of all the 13 reasons why he killed himself, and most of them are people from the school, and that's what the whole that's what the whole show's about.
Gee whiz. Okay.
Gee willikers. So yeah, you have all these extra TV shows popping up, and then it seems like about the same amount of movies as we had in the 90s, maybe the 80s, maybe more, slightly. However, there's more TV shows than ever.
Yeah.
Now we have Euphoria and stuff like that. So not only is there more TV shows than ever, but we also have, well, even before I get to the next part, there's more TV shows than ever. We have an attention economy, right? Like there's only so much attention we can give in a single day to something. And we are producing more stories, if you will, whatever the medium it is, if it's a TV show, whatever the narrative technique is, if it's a TV show or movie or whatever, we have more stories that we're producing through the media now than ever before. And then on top of all that, we have apps, which we talked about. We have social media, which also dominates that sphere because you have actual high school students able to go on there and give their actual experience in little micro clips. Mm-hmm. So you have all that competing with our attention for movies in a media market, which seems like it hasn't quite kept up with high school movies production hasn't quite kept up with the like inflation of movie production, if that makes sense. Like I feel like we're making so much more things than we ever have. And it kind of seems like the movies have kind of like stayed where they were since the 90s. Maybe there's a little bit more, but not what there would need to be to make it feel like there's as much as there was, because we have so much more to have access to.
Yeah.
You know? So that's my theory.
Dude, I love it. Thank you for doing all that research, man. I saw you come in with notes and I was like,
I always got notes.
I knew we were going to get to it. I love it. I love it, dude. That's such a cool observation to look at, not just like the uptrending of the frequency, the number of movies about adolescent characters that are out there, but this like trending of the themes toward the social dynamics. Because in, you know, like in even in Greece, right, there's social dynamics, like the guy's showing off for his guy friends and the girl's trying to fit in with the girlfriends, and the girl's from, you know, she's from a different place and she's the new girl in the group, and social acceptance, etc. And there are sexual undertones, right? Like the tell me more is like, hey, did you get laid? It's about that, but
that song makes me uncomfortable.
It's
a little rapey.
It's a little bit, yeah.
But it was the times. It is what it is. I'm not here to judge it. I'm just saying, I can't hear it though and be like, did she put up a fight? I'm like, oh no.
What does that mean?
I sure hope not.
Yeah.
I hope your next words were going to be, if she did you stop? I hope you stopped.
Right.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Right. Let's talk about consent.
But yes, there is the sexual undertones, but it's not heavily hit on though. It's in a fun, whimsical, like show tuney kind of way.
Right. And the real theme of it is
it's more about
the good
teenage
girl,
love also. Yeah.
Right. The good girl is attracted to the rebellious guy.
Yeah.
Same thing as
James Dean.
Same thing as James Dean. Same thing as a lot of movies. Like there's the guy who's a rebel and the girl's attracted to her, and I'm sure her family's not going to approve of that. And
I'm sure that would make her not attracted to him more.
And that persists up through the 80s. You see that in early 80s movies like Valley Girl, Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these other movies that have this same theme, where the girl's attracted to the rebellious guy, and that fades away. You don't see that as much in these modern movies that are a lot more about social dynamics than they are about these individual romantic interactions.
I suppose, yeah. I can't think of any. I do think that's still a common motif in not just high school movies, but like in general ones where like it's like, you know, women are attracted to the douchebag essentially.
Yeah. Or the rugged guy.
The rugged guy, yeah. Who doesn't treat them quite right. And that there's something about it's the whole I can fix you thing, right? I can't pin my finger up, but I know I've seen that in movies still for sure. That's still definitely like a thing that's out there. But that's not the central theme of these movies anymore. That's true. For sure. It seems like, especially nowadays, yeah, that's true. It feels like the characters have, maybe we've all just wizened up. I don't know.
Maybe. If that's what happened.
We don't want to we're not going to respect a female lead maybe that's going to do that anymore in such a way. I don't know. But.
Who's to say?
I don't know. But.
It's interesting to notice.
It is interesting to notice. Yeah, it's not as much of a theme anymore. You're right, though. That was the theme then, and then it gets like very diverse after that.
Yeah. A lot more social, a lot more party culture.
Social for sure. Yeah, social cliques fitting in.
Yeah, and some of these movies that are like a mix of party culture and just this long montage of dick jokes, like Superbad.
Superbad.
Yeah, Superbad. It's a 2-hour dick joke.
They even have the montage scene with the pictures of the dick jokes, which
They do.
It was hilarious, but that's hilarious. That's so funny that like he was just drawing dicks, and that wasn't like he wasn't like trying to be weird about it. It wasn't perverted. He just liked doing it.
Dude, you're about to go teach full time at a middle school,
Oh, we're
and
gonna
there's
see
going
it.
to be a dick on every desk.
Well,